Hello everybody, it's Nomad Jim. Now with recent events in the Middle East, our world has become a lot more unstable and unpredictable. Now this is not a political channel and I'm not here to debate the pros and cons of any government's policies or actions, but I do want to talk about how it affects you as a traveler. If you're someone who travels internationally or plan to travel internationally, then this is probably going to have an impact on your mobility. So today I want to talk about some things that I'm doing personally to make sure that I can continue to travel and have that mobility around the world. And these are things that you can do yourself right now. The first thing I want to talk about is airplane flights. Now you've probably noticed that oil prices have spiked recently, and with the instability in the Middle East, it's very likely that the prices are going to continue to go up. So that means not only higher prices for gasoline for your car, it also means higher prices for jet fuel for airplanes. So the airlines are going to pass that cost of the higher jet fuel onto you, the passenger, in the form of higher airfares. So what I'm doing now is purchasing flights earlier than I normally would do it in order to get good prices now before they go up. So if you have some flights that are maybe coming up for you in the next few months, you may want to consider purchasing those flights earlier rather than later. And even if you change your mind and end up canceling those flights, that minimal fee that you may have to pay for cancellation is probably going to be less than the prices of the increased airfares that you might expect if this instability continues. But there's another reason I'm doing this. What if a major event happens and you need to fly in an emergency back home or to a safer location? You're going to be stuck with paying whatever the price is for airfare at that time, and it could very well be a very high price. So what I've been doing is accumulating my airplane miles that I get from the airlines, from credit cards and partners. And rather than spending those, I'm accumulating them. I'm saving them up so that I could use those in an emergency if I need to buy a ticket and don't want to pay the high prices. Instead, I can use my miles to purchase that flight. The next thing to think about is accommodations. I have an IHG credit card, and I've been staying at IHG properties quite a bit over the last year or so. And as a result, I've accumulated a large number of IHG points, but I haven't been spending many of those. I've been accumulating them instead to have them as a contingency. So in the event that something happens in the world and I need to get to a safe location and need a place to stay, I can use these points to stay at one of these IHG properties that might be in that location. And it especially is important if there's a situation where it's difficult for me to access my money in order to pay for those hotel rooms. Instead, I have these points that will allow me to do that without the need for cash. Now that may sound extreme, but there are situations where accessing your cash can become temporarily a difficult thing to do. ATMs can stop working. Banks can have temporary disruptions. Credit cards can get frozen. And even your government may decide to implement capital controls. So if any of these situations happen, you have these hotel points that allow you to stay in a location for as long as you have those points available until you can decide what your next move is going to be. And that's also another reason why I'm accumulating airline points. They give you the optionality to be able to use those points for airlines or for hotels in the event that cash or credit cards are not available to you. Now, another thing that you can do right now is to start identifying places that would be your safe places to go to in the case of an emergency. Now, what kind of place would be a safe place for you? Ideally, it would be a place that you can get into without needing a visa. Also a place that would allow you to stay there for a decent amount of time, at least 90 days. and also a place that's probably going to stay relatively stable. An example is Albania. Americans can enter there visa-free for up to 12 months. So if you need a place to go and wait things out until things get more calm around the world, Albania could be a really good place to go to. And there are other places as well. Those are things you need to look into and find places that would work for you if you need to get to a safe place. The point is, you want to make sure you're thinking about that ahead of time. Don't wait until the actual emergency happens. When things go wrong, borders can close, things can change. It's better to have your options already ready to go, knowing what you're going to do in case something pops up. Now, taking this one step further is to get a residency permit in a specific country. Now, residency is different from citizenship. Residency means you're given the legal right to stay in that country indefinitely. And the thing is, you don't have to live in that country to have residency there. Now, as an example, I'm currently in the process of getting residency in Portugal. And it's been a long and frustrating process. And I'm going to do a video eventually on that as well to explain to you all of the things that I've gone through in my journey to get that residency. But there are other places that are a lot easier to get residency. Panama is one place that is a lot quicker to do that. So the thing about it is, if you are thinking about getting residency in a specific country, you can find lots of videos online about that. I'm not going to do a deep dive about residency in this video, but you can find a whole bunch of videos on YouTube of people talking about general terms about residency and also about country-specific residencies that you can get. So if you are interested in that, take a look at those videos. Search those and find those videos and take a look at those. And you'll learn a lot about what you can do for residency. So if you're interested in getting residency, my advice to you would be to start the process now. Don't wait until things get worse. Once that happens, there's a panic. Lots of people all try to get into the program all at once, and it overwhelms things. Applications get delayed. The program may even get shut down. So do it now while things are relatively calm, rather than waiting until things get much worse. Now, you may think that I'm overreacting or maybe being a little paranoid, but to that I would say this: I'm not paranoid, I'm early. It's always better to be early rather than late. Preparing before a crisis happens is a lot better than waiting until the doors start closing. So those are some of the things that I'm doing to ensure that I can continue to be globally mobile. What are some things that you're doing to prepare? Please share those in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some useful information from it. And if you did, please remember to hit that like button, leave a comment below, share with others, and consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time, let's get out there and travel.